All right, it's Kay McCoy. I am here to do a check-in and also apologize because a lot of stuff went down this February, and I want to talk about it. And that is something that I'm going to stick to because, as I said in my earlier videos this year, I really want to keep my YouTube channel up to date, but I also only want to come on here when I have something to say. So, like, whenever I need to get my thoughts out or let you guys know what's going on in my world, that's when I'll come on here. So that way my content makes sense. Anywho, having said that, February um, was a really good month, and it also kind of sucked. So let me briefly explain what that means. This month was really good for me as far as my behind the scenes work as an indie author, combined with that and book sales this month. This was the second consecutive month that I hit three figures. So yay! um, but having said that, I did lose my job. So essentially, yeah, I lost one of my day gigs, and it was my author gig, and it's I call it my author gig because it was the one job that I had that I used those funds specifically to fund my authorship. Like, I work remotely, so I have various different jobs and what have you. Um, the other jobs that I have, those are my strict 9 to 5s. Those are just to support myself. But the job that I essentially lost this month, in the middle of the month, was for my authorship. And this was the job that I had so that I could pay like travel expenses for my authorship, flights, the whole gamut, hotels, merch, books, all of that stuff, copyrights. And I lost that job. So it kind of sucked. But at the same time, I'm not mad about it. Like, I know I was at fault for why I lost my job. Yeah, like when you don't show up on time for work, that has negative consequences. Um, and I'm not upset about it. Like, because I feel like in a way, everything happened for a reason. I'm choosing to believe that, and knowing that the more time I spent at that job, which was supposedly to help funnel my authorship, I felt like it was one of the reasons why my authorship was stagnant. Like, because I took on this job to, pay for things for my authorship, that left me with less time to write. That left me with less time to work on courses. That left me with less time to like engage and do lives because I wake up, I have breakfast, I work out, I meditate, I take a nap, and then I go right back to work. Um, so I've been doing that for years now. Literally, that's been my work schedule since the pandemic. So, in my head, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, but since the beginning of the pandemic, so for roughly about 5 years, that's what I've been doing. And when I got the email about me being let go from my job, the first thought that I had was, oh wow, I don't have to work tonight. I can write. And it's been a couple of weeks, y'all, and I still feel the same way. Like, not because this job was at night. So I am a night owl and I love to write at night. I love to work on my authorship and things like that at night. So that's what I'm going to go back to doing. And I kind of mentioned it in what I just said. So let me go back a little bit. Remember how I said that February was like a really good month for me? Yeah, not only did I consecutively hit three figures this month, but I am now an instructor for the indie author training. So if you are on there, please be on the lookout. I will be offering classes and webinars and things like that. Right now, I'm in the process of working on the webinars and the classes that I will be offering now that I have more time. So be sure to check me out on there. And you guys will hear me talk more about that in the upcoming posts and weeks on my Substacks and all my other social medias because I am super, super, super excited about this. Like, I'm really excited about this. So yeah, that's my main big project for um the upcoming months. But also, speaking of courses and webinars, this March, I will also be an instructor for a virtual event that is held by the ATA. For those of you who don't know, I am affiliated with the ATA, which is the Author Transformation Alliance. For the last several years, we've held the virtual spring writers retreat. And so we're doing that again this year. And I am working on my classes for that because, I teach more than DEI specific, or I should say DEI coded courses. So I'm really excited about that. There will be obviously a continuation of either inclusivity in storytelling or diversity in writing. I'm always updating those two courses because at the core, those courses are near and dear to me. But I also have an entire slew of classes and courses that I like to offer just to sprinkle it in so that way you're not getting the same thing from me each year I do the virtual retreat. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, that's been nice. Um, Also, I remember in my previous video I shared with you guys like an outline of all the things that I wanted to do in 2025, and there has been some updates to that list for good reason. The first one being the audio. Now, I was supposed to start releasing like short stories on audio, and I am still going to do that. However, it has changed a little bit because what I wanted to do was narrate my own stories. And I don't have the time to do that anymore. I have to get serious about these courses and the webinars that I'm working on and my books. And I feel like even though I enjoy narration, I love learning more about audiobook narration specifically. Right now is not a good time for me to venture into this new project. So I'm going to continue writing my stories and I'll keep studying and learning more about audiobook narration. I'm also in the process of trying desperately to finish narration for a book that I I started working on. And it's been a process, like learning all the ins and outs, making sure that I can do this job as well as possible, making sure that my space, because spoiler alert, this is a virtual screen. This is not my actual setup. Uh, my making sure that my actual home studio is equipped for audiobook narration. And I am really hoping that I can at least finish this project well because it's a story that needs to be heard. And I really love this story. And honestly, the author behind this is amazing. I love talking to them and hopefully working with them. This is my third attempt at narrating a story for this specific author. And one day I'm going to tell that story. But today is not the day. So if you want to hear more about my ventures into audiobook and just voice acting and narrations, please let me know. You can also follow me on Narrations by Niece, either on Instagram or on the clock app, because I've been at this for a little bit now. So yeah, we'll talk more about that in another video if you guys want to hear it. Again, just let me know in the comments. I would be more than happy to share that story about how that even came to be. So yeah, I had to take the audiobook narration off the table. So that still leaves me with like quite a bit. Also, I have been writing. That's the one constant, which is really nice, especially when I was let go from the job that funds my authorship. Obviously, I'm going to write. So I've been writing. I've been revising the story that I'm going to release this summer, which is near and dear to my heart. And my next video, actually, yeah, this is the end of February. So my next video will be about that. That's what I'm deciding that now, executive decision. So my next YouTube video will be about that book. And after that, March, March, I want to talk about finances and specifically for myself and for other indie authors because I don't feel like we take our businesses seriously enough. Um, and as I mentioned, I am affiliated with the ATA. You don't have to be affiliated with them, but if you are going to be watching my videos in March, I want you to know March is about that money. Okay. So when I say that, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an author's legacy. So next month, I'm going to commit to doing two videos. So if you heard right, that means I'm going to be releasing three videos on this channel next month. The first one will be about my book that I'm going to publish in June of this year, and then an author's legacy. Like, I personally know that I need to get serious about this. Like, I have a backlist, I have intellectual property, I would like to protect it. And so, like I said, I'm going to have two videos dedicated to some of the things in this book, which is actually, if you guys didn't know, Craig Martell. Craig Martell got together with Audrey Hewley. She is the founder of the Author Transformation Alliance. And she also is very well known for her planners in general. They're phenomenal. You guys have seen me talk about my planner. That's the one that I'm talking about, like the one that she's behind. She's the guru as far as I'm concerned when it comes to author planners and like finding that work life balance. Like her planners help me immensely do that. So, anywho, an author's legacy. I will be talking more in depth about this, especially like the first few pages, because obviously I'm not going to go through the whole book with you, but I'm going to go over some key nuggets of this, and hopefully that will help all of you indie authors out there when it comes to how to protect yourself when you're no longer here, and how to protect your intellectual property, what happens to your property and all this stuff. Again, I'm not a lawyer. The book, again, is not made by lawyers. I'm basically looking at this book and I'm treating this as like a prerequisite before I get in touch with an attorney and an accountant who specializes in IP. Like, I at least want to know a little bit about what I'm talking about before I reach out to those people specifically. So that's how I'm looking at an author's legacy. So I will be talking about those two things in March. And then I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a series. Um, and I it's been vexing me to no end that the series is not completed. It's completed, but it's not published. I have two books for this series that are out, and I'm going to spend the rest of this year working on that. Like, I'm going through and I'm going to have it revamped again. So I will be talking about that in my in April. That's what I'm talking about. So you guys are hearing it here first. This right here, this is my secret weapon. Because, like I said, I finished this story. The story is done. However, publishing wise, it's not done. There's only two books out, and I need to figure out why people aren't gravitating to the story. So I'm going back to the beginning and I'm plotting the whole book out using Plotter on paper. And again, this was a collaboration with obviously Plotter and Audrey Hewley. So I'm really excited to talk about those two things, March and April. So in March is money. It's all about money and in intellectual property. So I will be talking about an author's legacy in March. And in April, when I revisit my series, I'm going to be talking about Plotter on paper. So that is my update for the most part. Anyone that is interested in if you are interested in applying to be a guest speaker for Author Nation, you're running out of time. So if you're watching this video, that means it's Friday. And I believe Friday is the last day for you to apply for a speaker. And it's getting a little competitive out here in these streets, just so y'all know. According to all of their socials, they're going to have less instructors this year because the classes are going to be longer. So the classes at Author Nation are going to be an hour long, which I honestly, as an instructor, I am very glad about, because last year I had a great time, but I did not leave myself enough time for some things, and I kind of wanted to retweak my lessons. But you know what? I'll make a video about that. So, um, excuse me. I'll make a video about that in April. So you heard it here first. My three videos for March are going to be about my upcoming book release this summer, which is probably going to be in June because I love publishing in June. And then I'll have two more videos about an author's legacy. And then in April, I will be talking about Author Nation. Um, and I'll also be talking about Plotter on Paper. The reason why I said April is because the 28th of February is the cutoff, the deadline, so to speak, for applying for a speaker position at Author Nation this year. And I believe it's going to take them a month to vet everybody and to like really pick instructors. So I did apply this year again to be a guest speaker, and I did speak last year. That does not mean that I'll get picked again. um, if I'm fortunate enough and they really like what I pitched this time around, they'll choose me again. But you never know because there's such a pool of talent out there. And again, I'm on my way to being a mid-list author. I'm not rolling in six figures yet. I'm here. I am actually congratulating myself for making three figures for like the second time ever in my author career. So clearly, it won't take much to surpass me in that arena. However, I'm just hopeful that I have enough experience and my record stands for itself. So we shall see come March. So that's why I'm choosing to talk more about Author Nation in April. So that way, once they have vetted everyone and they have selected the speakers for this year, then I'll have something to report, essentially. So that's the plan. But yeah, like I said, life is good. I mean, it could always be better, obviously. I'm spending more time indoors, definitely more time virtually. Um, yeah, I can't really complain. Like, I'm in a weird place, I guess that's what I should say. Like I said, I lost the job that paid for my authorship, but I'm still working. Like, I'm still able to support myself. And now I have more time to take on other projects and write because that's what I love to do. And really, like this year is the year where I really want to like focus and get my estate in order, so to speak. So, am I upset about losing the job? Honestly, you guys, no, I'm not. Um, I'm not upset about it. And honestly, if they hadn't let me go, I would still, right now, I would still be at work working on someone else's, you know, time, someone else's clock, instead of using that time to, you know, catch you guys up on what I'm doing and writing. And I have other projects that I really need to devote more time to. And as long as my bills are paid, I'm just going to have to take that as a win. So a win is a win at this point. Um, as far as Author Nation goes, I'm still going to continue saving money for that. Like I said, I did apply to be a guest speaker. We'll know more about that by the beginning of April, and that's when I'll check back in here with you guys on YouTube about that. So, yeah, I'm still saving up as though I'm going. Like in my head, I'm telling myself, yes, I'm going. I'm going to be a guest speaker, and I'm rolling with it. So, yeah, if there's anything you guys want to hear more about, let me know in the comments. And if you also applied for Author Nation as a guest speaker, I'd love to hear how that experience has been for you. If you're planning on going to Author Nation this year or you're on the fence about it, let me know in the comments. And if you have either of these books already, like if you have Plotter on paper, I'm really excited about this one because I'm a paper girly. Obviously, I love writing stuff down like old school. So yeah, if you have Plotter on paper, or if you have an author's legacy and you want to follow me as I go through certain key points from each of those books, let me know. So, yeah, that is it for today. I'm gonna go to bed because I no longer work nights and I can go back to getting 8 hours of sleep. So I am, yeah, I'm excited about what March has in store for me. Super excited about that. And yeah, I will see you guys on the internets. I hope everyone is safe, taking care of yourself, And again, I'll check in with you guys. Let's see. This is the end of February, so I'll do okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do three videos. I just said it. So there will be another video coming up next Friday. All right. That's it for now. Have a great day, everybody. And as always, continue reading, continue writing, continue loving the process. This is Kay McCoy, and I am signing off. Bye.